Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Spiritual Clarity. My name is Richard, and let's get started. Please listen, love, and forgive. We're going to be using the Guardian Angel Tarot, the Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic. We're going to be using the Burning Hearts Love Oracle. I'm going to end with some of these When Two Hearts Meet Love Oracle cards. Okay? So, let's see what Spirit has for us today. Thank you, Spirit, for clear and concise messages. Thank you for letting us see, hear, and feel the things we need to in this reading. Hope everybody's doing well today. And these are those big Guardian Angel Tarot cards. I love these cards, but I hate that it's big. They're huge. Thank you, Spirit, for just one card to start this reading. And here's our first Guardian Angel Tarot. First card out is beautiful. 8 of Wands. Communication, communication, communication. So Divine Masculine is ready to make a move towards Divine Feminine and also start talking. It's been a while for a lot of them. Okay? They ran because they were afraid. They didn't know what was going on. They had encountered this beautiful person, and normally they had met multiple people probably in their lives, and they never had any type of feeling like this towards a person that they had just met. They felt like they were so connected to them. They felt that they could actually spend so much time with them, like more time than they could spend with anyone else. And this is the part that was like weird to them. They were like, wait a minute, I just met this person. I don't really even know anything about them, but I feel like I could just be with them forever. And this is the part that a lot of some of these Divine Masculines, they're very mind oriented. So everything has to be processed in the mind over and over and over and over again. A lot of overthinking going on. And, he took this thing just over and over and over in his mind and said, how could this be? I never felt like this before about anyone. So he knows that at this point, he really had to ingest all of this information that was coming in. Why he felt this way about this person. He had never felt this way before, and he always may have met someone and just wanted to hang out with them, but never felt like he wanted to be committed to them. Then he began to think about this person night and day. They were on his mind all the time. And even after they separated, he still continued to think about this person, even intensified. So right now, he's he's going through all of the lessons. He's going through all of the towers, and Spirit has really brought him through to let him know this is the person for you. Even though you didn't know it really is. And at this point, he's just trying to process it all before he comes back and he really makes that move and communicates to Divine Feminine just how much he cares and wants her. Okay, that was the 8 of Wands. And now we're going to the next Guardian Angel Tarot card is, the Ace of Swords. So, like I said, it says inspiration, communication, and adjustments. And then as you can see in this picture, he's trying to follow his intuition, but, it's rough. He's like, I know how I feel, but my mind's telling me you can't jump into this. You can't do this because mentally this doesn't make sense to you. In his heart, it feels like it's right, but in his mind, it's like, are you crazy? What's going on? This doesn't make sense. And he knows that the truth is what's important. You see how he's dragging the sword behind him? He knows it's very important to come in with the truth. Okay, you could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And he knows that he needs to come in with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay? It could be, you see there's a winter scene. It could be that he's been doing this throughout the whole winter, the winter that just passed. We're getting ready to come into spring in the United States. So could be that he's been contemplating this the whole winter that just passed. And now that spring's coming, he could be getting ready to open up his mouth and come with communication and come movement back to Divine Feminine. Okay? Could come in the form of a text, could be a knock on the door, could be an email. But in any event, he's really coming to that point where he's going to come make those moves and communicate towards Divine Feminine again. Okay, and follow his intuition, which he used to follow all these other people's naysaying and minds and stuff, but now he's actually going to follow his own. Okay, and the next guardian angel next to Tarot. Too many, way too many. See, he has a lot to say. That's why these cards are going all over the place. Okay, and the third card out is the Three of Wands. Okay, so he knows that he wants to expand this. He knows that he's been changing his perspective and his vision towards his way that he feels about divine feminine. You see how there's the 3 wands and there's that ship out there. So he knows that he's on the shore right now. He's had a different type of perspective when he first met her. But in the separation, he feels like, you know what? I'm starting to think differently about this. I'm starting to feel like this makes sense to me now. Before I used to say it was a joke, it was weird, but now I know that she's truly the one for me. And he's contemplating this over and over and over in his head, but finally it's making sense to him. Before it was weird, but now it's actually making sense. And he's going to be working towards his goal, which is to get back with divine feminine and see how this relationship can go. Okay? Now, that's the 3 of Wands. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment so you know when I'm on here. Please watch the full video because there's messages throughout. And now we're going to be using these Love Oracle Simplistic Mystics. And let's see what Spirit wants to show Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine in this journey. The card fell on the floor, so we're going to get it. Sorry about that. And first, the first card out in the Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic is text messages. I told you, communication. It says news, phone call, direct message. Okay? So it's either going to be a text, it could be a phone call, it could be him actually coming to your house. So funny how text message fell right on top of the 8 of Wands. Which that means there's going to be movement and communication coming in for this relationship. Because Spirit knows at this point that they're both ready for it. Okay? It's time to break the ice again. It's time to come out of silence and come back together and start making moves towards that future, towards building a relationship with each other again. Okay? And the next Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic is... there it is. Yep, healing. It says wounds improving, mending, and progress. So it could be that Spirit has taken him through a spiritual awakening. Okay? It could be that, you might be working with, see there's crystals here, there's candles. Could be Divine Masculine has started working with crystals, or maybe he's lighting candles, to focus. Maybe he's doing meditation when he's focusing on, the things that he wants to bring back to him, which maybe one of them is probably divine feminine. So he could be actually manifesting divine feminine back to him. But I feel like he's going through a lot of healing in this separation between the two of them. Okay? And like I said, it's childhood woundings. It could be he never encountered a loving relationship before. Maybe his parents' relationship wasn't loving at all. Maybe, he never saw them hug. Maybe he never saw them kiss. It could be just that, they lived together. They had children. He went to work. She took care of the house. And whenever they did get together, that was when the kids went to bed and they went in their bedroom. But physical encounters for the kids to see, he may have never seen it. So this is something that's kind of new to him. This is the things that Spirit had to heal in him, and he had to heal in himself. Before he could come back and have this communication and start this new relationship with his divine counterpart. Okay? And now the final Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic is, and here it is, Divine Intervention. It says serendipity, catalyst, supernatural, and karma. So Divine Masculine knows that at this point, there's divine intervention. Spirit is all in this. Spirit knows these two are meant to be together. Spirit knows this divine connection. Spirit knows that they needed to solve things individually by themselves before they could come back together and start this relationship together. So at this point, they've done a lot of the healing. They've done a lot of the self-care, self-love work. Now they built up their self-worth, to themselves, and now they're going to bring it together back to each other. Okay? And like I said, the spirit is all up in this. This is divine intervention. Okay? And that was the Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment so you know when I'm on here. And once again, please watch the full video because there's messages throughout. And now we're going to use some of these Burning Heart Love Oracle cards to see what Divine Masculine would say to Divine Feminine if he had the encounter with her in front of him right now. Okay. And thank you, Spirit. Wow. Whew. And a lot of them came out. 3 of them. And I'm going to take all 3. Okay. One at a time, of course. First one out is... I regret what I did to you. Okay, he regrets running. He regrets not actually having that conversation that he needed to have with Divine Feminine to explain how he felt and what was going on in his own mind. He was listening to a lot of people on the outside giving him information. Instead of him following his own intuition and his own way of thinking, he was following them. But at this point, he's going through all that regret, all that sorrow, all of that rethinking in his mind to say, you know what, I should have never did it like that. I should have followed her lead. I should have did what she has. I should have done what I know I wanted to do instead of going back and speaking to these people who they never had my interest in their hand anyway. A lot of them were jealous. A lot of them were self-centered. A lot of them only wanted the person for themselves. It could be friends who maybe he was the leader of the pack. And they knew that if he separated, then that would destroy the pack. So he said, you know what, let's push her away. Let's get him away from that person. And then that way he'll just hang out with us and we won't have to worry about it. Okay? So, like I said, he regrets what he did to Divine Feminine, his Divine Feminine. And the next card out is, I'm sorry I couldn't be what you needed me to be. Okay? He couldn't be what you needed him to be. It's so funny, it fell right underneath, right on top of healing. Because he needed to go through that healing. He needed that separation. He needed that time for himself to say, you know what? I have a lot of skeletons in my closet that I need to get out. I need to clean out. I need to throw out. He had to separate himself from these people that no longer served him. And these weren't hard things for him to do because he could have been around these people for a long time. They could have been good friends. They could have been relatives. They could have been people who he always thought were in his corner. But he found out later that they were just stabbing him in his back. They were only out for themselves. They had never had his best interest at hand. Okay? And Spirit had to open his eyes and let him see that Divine Feminine is the real deal. And these people were just karmics. Okay? And that was a hard pill for him to swallow, knowing that the people who were around him and who he thought were always there for him were really never for him. Okay? And the next card says, your energy is intoxicating and it pulls me in. So he is totally in love with Divine Feminine. He can't believe that he feels this strong towards somebody. Okay? He had never encountered this before. He said, you know what? I've encountered a lot of different people and I never felt this way quite like about somebody before. So this part is the part that he really had to wrap around his head. He had to say, I've met a lot of people. I've met a whole bunch of people in my life. I've had these like casual relationships and all of this. But in Divine Feminine's case, it was like love at first sight. It was like this person he met who he didn't even want to separate from. He wanted to be around that person 24/7. That was how his feeling was. And that's the part that brought that fear and that doubt into him. It scared him to death. And that was the part that he couldn't communicate. But now through the separation, he's going to come back and he's going to be vulnerable. He's going to express all of the things he really wants to express to Divine Feminine because he knows she is the person for him. She is the love of his life. Okay. And that was the Burning Hearts Love Oracles. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment so you know when I'm on here. And now we're going to finish up with some of these soul connections when two hearts meet love oracle cards. And I'm going to give you my intuitive hit, and then we're going to see what the book says. Okay. The first love oracles when two hearts meet is dreams. It says share your dreams together and encourage each other to make them a reality. So at this point, he's coming back and he's going to share how he feels with his divine feminine, and he's going to make those dreams a reality. When he was going through this separation, a lot of times he came to the point where he said, nah, this isn't going to work. She's not the person for me. I don't know how I thought that this was going to work, but Spirit has intervened in this, and Spirit has enlightened him and changed his mind and told him, you know what? This is the real person. He had been around all those naysayers, all those people who never served him. And now once he encountered divine feminine, he knew she was the truth. She was the true thing. She was the real thing. She was the reality. And he's getting ready to take that leap of faith. He's getting ready to communicate how much he cares about, how much he loves her back to her, because he knows she's the one who he truly wants to be with. Okay. And the next soul connection with two hearts meet is, and there it is. It says, a marriage of souls is a union of two divine counterparts blending together. So he really wants to commit to divine feminine. Okay. He never thought he wanted to commit to anybody. Like I said, these could be younger people. Okay. Maybe his divine counterpart is an older person. So one has the feeling like she's ready to commit. The other one says, you know what, I'm still ready to sow my oats. But in the separation, he has come to the realization that he's done with the oats. He's going to commit. He's going to come back. He's going to offer her that pledge of love, that pledge of commitment, and he's going to just, jump the broom. They used to jump the broom to get married. He's ready to jump the broom with divine feminine. Okay? And the final soul connections when two hearts meet is, thank you, Spirit. I told you, when there's a lot of information, these cards go berserk. And there's the final one. It says synchronicities. It says a divine soul counterpart relationship is blessed with amazing moments of synchronicities. I don't know about you, but I've been seeing 333, 444, 555, 666, 1111. I mean, tons of synchronicities. As I'm driving in my car and on the television, there could be some part in a movie where they show you a number, and then I look it up, the angel number, and it's something that relates to my relationship or to my journey with my divine counterpart. So I know that these signs of synchronicities are just Spirit intervening and saying, you know what, this is meant for you. This is the way it's supposed to be. And don't try to fight it, because this is the true deal. So I'm going to just read these real quick out of the book, and then we're going to close out the reading. The first one is dreams. Okay. So let's see what Spirit has to say through this book. It says, share your dreams together and encourage each other to make them a reality. The dreams you have in your minds are like seeds waiting to grow. Just as seeds need water, dreams need beliefs to develop. When you nourish your dreams with optimism to make them your realities, you will see them unfold like a beautiful flower because of the dedication you have invested in them. When this card appears, it suggests that now is the time to make your dreams come true. Like I said, Divine Masculine's coming back in to communicate how much he really cares, how much he truly loves Divine Feminine, and how much he truly wants to be with her. Okay? The next one is marriage, which is that commitment that he wants to give to Divine Feminine. It says a marriage of souls is a union of two divine counterparts blending together. A marriage symbolizes the start of a lifelong commitment. It represents a union of two people who have committed themselves through love to stand together in all aspects of life. The experience of this card suggests that if you are not married yet, marriage may be on the horizon. whilst if you are married, in any case, you may be considering renewing your vows to celebrate your marriage. So, if you guys were together and then you separated, I feel that this card also is that recommitment to each other, bringing that relationship back together. Okay. And the final card is synchronicities, and then we're going to close out the reading. It says, a divine soul counterpart relationship is blended with amazing moments of synchronicity. The word synchronicity means meaningful coincidences. Meaningful coincidences. The divine uses meaningful coincidences to communicate with us. This means that you don't have to rely only upon psychic messages, because when you are aligned with your divine purpose, you will receive miraculous signs on a regular basis, which I do all the time. The appearance of this card suggests that the divine is talking to you with the language of synchronicity. So that's the reading. Spirit has come through. Spirit has told us that divine masculine is coming back with communication and movement towards his divine feminine. He may have let a lot of people get in his mind previous to this and, tried to stop him from doing the things he wanted to do with his divine counterpart. But at this point, he's going to get rid of all the naysayers. He's going to get rid of all those karmics. He's going to separate himself from the things that no longer serve him. He's going to come back and he's going to be that person that he truly wants to be for himself as well as for his divine counterpart. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Spirit for letting us see, hear, and feel the things we need to in this reading. When you guys have these heart-to-heart conversations, please listen intently, please love unconditionally, and please forgive. I love all you guys. Have a great day. Bye.